Welcome to class. This week is a restorative or more of a restorative flow. So it's quite slow and we're going to hold the positions for a little bit longer to really be able to open and release some tension and maybe increase some range of motion even. So if you have blocks, grab them. If not, they're not necessary, but they might just be nice to have as a support for some of the positions that we do. And a blanket is also recommended if your knee gets sore on the mat, or a jumper or anything that you have to put under your knee when we're on it for a long amount of time. So that might be anything soft that you can find within arm's reach can just come and be next to you on the mat so that you can easily grab it and put it away when you need it. And other than that, let's get started in our child's pose today. So the knees are going to be wide, and I will get you to sit up really nice and tall. So think about the crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. And then there's always almost like this little tilt of the pelvis here. So we are tilting the pelvis forward, sticking our butt out a little bit, arching the spine so that the belly can melt in between the thighs and the spine can come forward really nice and long until the forehead meets the floor. And from here you can walk the fingertips far away from you so that you can really find a nice long stretch across the spine from the tailbone all the way to the top of the neck. And then just close your breath here and start to deepen the inhales and control the exhales, slow exhales. Take a few deep breaths in and out here, really trying to slow down the breath. You might even want to come up onto your fingertips to open up in the shoulders a little bit more, stretching the elbows up and away from the floor. Maybe even walk the fingertips further away from you and try to sink the weight of your hips back on the heels. And then from here, just look forward gently. Start to walk your hands over towards the right side. Plant the left hand down, the right hand on top, and come into a side stretch. So sinking the head to the floor, reaching over towards the right. So we now feel a nice stretch across the side body on the left side. And then take a few deeper breaths, sending the breath into the side body, so into the ribs, all the way up, down, up towards the armpit and down towards the hip crease. And really see if you can find the breath in your back as well, in the back ribs, expanding your back with the inhale and gently releasing with the exhale. And then look up again, just walk the hands to the other side. Right hand onto the floor, left hand on top to ground that palm down, and then sinking the head or the forehead towards the floor. Now find the breath in the right side body, all the way up under the armpit, into the side ribs, into the side waist, all the way down to the hip crease. And take 2 more deep breaths here. And gently coming up, walk the hands to the front of the mat and come up onto hands and knees. Place your knees underneath the hips. With an inhale, arch the spine, look forward. And exhale, draw the belly button to the spine, curve and look towards the belly button. Inhale to arch. And exhale to curve. Really push the floor away in your curve here. Feel the separation of the shoulder blades. And then when you arch, the shoulder blades come together, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, separating the shoulder blades. 2 more. Inhale to arch. And exhale to curve. And come to a neutral spine here. Draw the belly button gently towards the spine though, without curving the back. We're going to work a little bit into the hips. I didn't say this at the beginning, but this class is a hip opener and a chest and a heart opener. So we're going to start by warming up the hips a little bit. Bring your knees all the way together at the mat now. And then lift your right leg up about 90 degrees here. So the knee is in a 90-degree-ish angle. And we're going to draw circles with the knee, but the rest of this shape does not move. So the knee is going to go out to the side towards the right elbow and then down to meet the left knee. And then we'll do that again. It comes up parallel to the back. It turns out, comes a little bit forward towards the elbow, and then we meet the knee again. And just keep doing a few circles this way. Try to keep the rest of the body as still as possible so you're not jelly everywhere else. Yeah, so the rest of the body is strong and only the right leg is moving, making big circles into the hip joint. 1 more circle this way. Now we're going to reverse the circles. We start bringing the knee straight out to the side and then turn it in, heel to the sky, knee to the floor, and then knees comes together. And out, turn it in, knees together. Out, turn in, knees together. This should feel quite warm in your hip right now. Let's do 2 more of these. Out, back, and down. Keep the belly button lifted for a strong core, and back and down. Now stay with me. We're going to lift our knee out to the side, stretch the leg straight out to the side, and then slowly place the foot on the floor. Okay. Moving into the inner thigh stretch. So maybe walk your hands a little bit to the right. So one hand can come off the mat. And finding the stretch on the inner side of your thigh here, your adductors. And the foot can be flat on the floor, or you might want to flex the toes up to the sky. It's up to you. You can also come down onto your elbows. And I just want you to sway a little bit from back to front, stretching into that right leg. Take some deep breaths here. If you've forgotten to keep your breath slow, come back to that slow pace once more. And then come up to your hands. Let's plant the left hand onto the floor. Come into a little twist. Reach the right arm to the sky. Hug the shoulder blades together and try not to dip into the left arm here. So shoulder far away from the ear, long neck. Maybe you can twist your chest a little bit more up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in. And then both hands to the floor, both knees to the floor. Let's move through a cat-cow here on the inhale, arch. And exhale, curve. And coming to a neutral spine, knees all the way together, hands planted under the shoulders. Pick up your left leg now, find that 90-degree angle. So try not to arch into your spine here. Lift the lower belly up and in. Keep a push of the floor with your hands. Draw that knee to the side, up towards your shoulder, and then knees together. Big circle into the hip joint. Leg up, leg out, and knees together. And keep doing that. As much movement as you can in your hip, in your left hip joint, and as little movement as you can anywhere else in your body. This is a very isolated movement. And just keep drawing that circle a few more times, nice and big, until you feel your hip getting warm. Let's do one more time this way. And then the knees comes together, bring the knees straight out to the side, and then turn it in so that the knees facing the floor and the heel is facing the ceiling, and then bring the knees together. And then keep doing that a few times. And we're doing this slowly, so not rushing through the movement. Almost as if you're moving through honey or syrup or mud, whatever you prefer. And two more this way, out and back, knees together, last one, out and back, knees together. Now the knee's gonna come out to the side, stretch your legs straight to the side, and then with control, place the foot on the floor. Maybe walk your hands a little bit towards the left here, and start to move into this stretch, maybe down to your elbows. Stretching your adductor on the left side. Taking deep breaths here, another 3 breaths. And come up onto your hands if you went onto your elbows. Right hand down, left arm to the sky, find your twist. And again, let's get that right shoulder out of the ear. So draw the shoulder back and down, and maybe open up the chest a bit more towards the ceiling if you can. And bring the hand to the floor. Bring the knees together. Before we move on to our downward facing dog, let's come into Anahastasana, which is a heart melting pose. Come down onto your elbows, keeping the hips up to the sky. Move the belly towards the thighs a little bit so that you can stack the hips on top of the knees and then rest the forehead on the floor. If you want, you can place the palms of the hands together and bring the prayer towards the back of the neck here for extra shoulder stretch. And just hang out here for a few breaths. So if this position feels difficult to stay in, try to move your hips a little bit forward or a little bit back. It should feel quite balanced and comfortable here. And then if your prayer is at the back of your neck, bring it to the floor. Come into hands and knees. Inhale, find your cow pose, tuck your toes under. And exhale, shift the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Walk out the feet here. Get comfortable in your down dog for a few breaths. Any movements that you would like to take them now. And then we're going to move our way into stillness. So once you've gotten your fidgets out of the way, press the palms into the floor, lift the hips to the sky, and then the heels are seeking down towards the floor, even if they don't actually meet the floor. And now we find some stillness here. We're just going to hold and take a few deep breaths. Check in with your neck that it's relaxed. Your face is soft. And your breath is deep. From here, we're going to reach the right leg up to the sky, but bend the knee and open up the hip. So into scorpion tail here, the knee is seeking the ceiling, and the heel is seeking the glute on the right side. And you can definitely shift your shoulders as well, maybe look towards the right, look underneath that armpit. And you might want to move the knee a little bit at the top as well if that feels like good for your hip. Maybe some big circles, maybe some small circles here. And then take one last breath in. Plant the right leg back to the floor. Let's go other side, left leg up, bend the knee, open up in the hip. Maybe shift the shoulders and look towards the left. And then you can start to move, circle, or shift that knee around however you feel like. And then place the left leg on the floor. Look forward, start to tippy-toe your way to the front of the mat. Place your feet a little bit wider than normal, so wider than hip width apart. Find your ragdoll, grab your your elbows, and let the head drop. And sway from side to side a little bit here. So the knees can be as bent as you need them to be. Try to avoid that very curved back. So if your back is curving a lot up here, bend the knees so that you can get the belly closer to your thighs. That way your spine can relax over here. We're going to come into another twist. So the left hand is going to go down into the middle. Bend your left knee. So the same knee as the hand you have on the floor is bent. And we're going to open up the right arm to the sky. This is where a block can come in handy. If you have one, this hand can definitely go onto a block so that you can get a little bit more space in your twist if your hamstrings are tight, for example. And if you have the shoulder range, you can turn your arm, internally rotate your arm, and see if you can grab the inside of your left thigh here on the other side. That way you can pull the shoulders open a little bit more. And make sure that you're not hanging into the left shoulder. Long neck, shoulder down and away from the ear. And then if you have the bind, reach the arm back up to the sky and then down to the floor or a block. Bend your right knee, open up the left arm in your twist. And if you did on the other side, internally rotate your left arm, bring it behind your back and see if you maybe can grab a hold of your inner right thigh. Now this is obviously not necessary, just an addition for those of you that want a little bit extra rotation here. And take some deep breaths. Then release the hand if you bind. Open up the left arm and then bring it to the floor. Put your block to the side if you had one. Bend the knees, start to roll up your spine. Slowly, one vertebra at a time. To come all the way up to a standing position. Let's reach the arms up overhead. And then draw them down to heart center. Walk the feet a little bit closer and rearrange yourself on the mat if that's needed. From here, we're going to reach the arms up to the sky. And imagine, I'm going to turn this way so you can see me. Imagine that something has a hold of your left fingertips and is pulling the fingertips up to the ceiling. So you're stretching this left side. And bend both knees, just hang the right side down. So the right side is relaxed and you're pulling up on the left side. So you can really feel a nice stretch here of the side body. And then whoever's got a hold of your left fingertips is pulling you back up all the way. Right arm comes up. They grab the right hand and the left body gets to relax. So see if these right fingers can reach straight up to the ceiling. Imagine you're hanging off just this one hand and the rest of your body is just dangling underneath you. And then pull up from the right fingertips, both hands up to the sky. And let's do a big circle of the arms out to the side as you swan dive your torso over your legs. Bowing forwards. Find a halfway lift with a deep breath in. And then let's step the right leg back for a low lunge. And this is where you might need your blanket underneath that knee. Here, or your jumper, or wherever you're using, if you're using something. From here, bring the arms in front of you, palms together. We're going to bring the arms by the ears, bend the elbows back. Now this can be really hard for some people if your triceps are really tight. So see how you go, but try to bring the prayer to the back of your neck like we did in the beginning in our Anahastasana. And then as you sink the hips forward, can you push the back of your head into that prayer that you have behind your head? And open up the front of the chest. So it's a little bit of a back bend, a little bit of a heart opener. And also the shoulders are working here to keep the elbows hugging in. Gazing up towards the ceiling if you can. And from here, let's clasp the hands together. Open the palms out and then lean the head into that open palm. Elbows now are out to the side. Opening, opening, opening in the front body. And come back up, arms to the sky. Both hands to the inside of your front leg. Toe heel your front leg out to the side for a lizard lunge. So from here, keep the, externally rotate your front leg. So the toes are going out towards the corner of the room or the corner of your mat here. And you can flex the foot and let the sole of the foot come off the floor. So you're just on the inside, so the outside of your left foot, if that makes sense. And from here you can start to move a little bit from side to side. Again, if you want to come down onto your elbows, you can do that. Just loosening up into that left hip. And then come back up onto your hands. If you went down, start to stretch your front leg for half Hanuman, but the legs are still wide, the hands are still on the inside. And then we're going to take a few breaths here, stretching our hamstring. And as always, if you have the space, you can come down to your elbows for this stretch as well. Or blocks, your hands might be on blocks, or maybe your elbows went down to blocks. And then coming back up onto your hands. Walk your hands all the way towards your back knee. So we're going to turn to our side here. The right hand comes to the mat, at the back of the mat, and the left arm comes up and over for a side stretch. So now in like a modified side plank here, reaching the left fingertips up and overhead, grounding your left foot into the floor. The right knee is still on that blanket, if you had one. And from here, reach the left fingertips up to the sky. Start to get really light onto your right fingertips without pushing the floor. Can you just gently peel your hand off your mat and then start to reach the right fingertips up and overhead for a gate pose. And open, come back down with the left fingertips over the head. And we're going to curve around. Just walk your way back to where you came from. Hands towards the front. Bend your front knee this time. Move into a high lunge, but with the hands on the floor. And then we're going to step this left leg back and find our downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths in your down dog here. Now the right leg is going to reach up towards the sky. Bend the knee and then bring it forward to step between the hands and then drop your left knee to the blanket or the mat. Both arms up towards the sky. Take an inhale. The left hand is going to come down. We're going to rotate towards the front knee in our twist. And see if you're leaning a lot into that left hand. Get the shoulder away from the ear. And then start to reach your right hand towards the back of the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together here so that chest is nice and open. And the arm comes up and around. Bring it to the floor. Pick up your back knee. Look forward. Long, long, long spine. And we're just going to step to fold at the top of the mat. Find a halfway lift. Long inhale. And then bend the knees deeply. Start to roll up the spine really nice and slow. Slow, slow, slow. Deep breath in, arms to the sky. And then hands to heart center. Repeat to the other side. Both arms up. But something gets a hold of your left fingertips here and they reach even further up to the sky as the right side just hangs off and relaxes down. So you might drop your head as well down to the right. But really energize the fingertips. the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and out. Come back up, right fingertips up. Switch hands, reach the right fingertips even further, and then let the left side body drop. And come back up, both hands. We swan dive down, open the arms wide as you melt over your legs into a forward fold. Find your halfway lift. Step your left leg back in space, knee down to whatever you have. Good. From here, arms to the sky, and then palms together first. Bring the thumbs down towards the crease of your neck if you can. Keep hugging the elbows in, and then push the back of your head into your arms to open up the chest. We are still hugging the elbows in towards the head. Breathe deep here. And now you can start to clasp the hands behind your head, open the elbows out wide, and then drop the back of the head into the hands. So it's nice and supported here as you lift the chest up towards the sky. And really open that elbows out wide. 2 more breaths. And start to come up, reach the arms to the sky, and then bring them to the inside of the right leg. Toe heel your right leg out, turn your toes to the side, and if it feels okay, let your foot just fall onto the outer edge of your foot here. So the sole of the foot is off the floor. And then you can sway from side to side, or maybe come down to your elbows. Hands might be on blocks. Just set yourself up however you need. Long, deep breaths here. Releasing as much tension as you can with the little moments that we have here. So we're not trying to push into a stretch, but we're trying to release stress that might be stored here around your muscles, your tissues, your fascia. And then if you went onto your elbows, come back up. We're just going to stretch that front leg into half Hanuman. Both hands are still on the inside, so that you have lots of space here. And then you can drop to your elbows if you did so on the other side, or keep your hands on blocks. And come to your hands. If you went down, we're just going to walk towards that left knee and come into our modified plank pose. So the left hand walks all the way to the back of the mat, right arm reaches to the sky. So you're now in one straight line here. And then the right arm comes up and overhead for a side stretch. And all we're doing here is trying to lengthen from the right foot to the right fingertips as much as it's possible. And really see if you can find more space there. What happens if you make certain adjustments to really try to lengthen that side? And then reach the right arm to the sky. Get really light onto your left fingertips and gently, gently, gently peel that hand off the floor so that you can reach the left arm up and overhead for gate pose. Take 2 more deep breaths here in this position. And then gently release. Left fingertips slowly with control back down to the floor. Right hand overhead. Start to curve the right hand in front of you and then walk towards the front of the mat. Bend your right knee. Just readjust your body here a bit so that you can come into your fingertip lunge. Pick up that back knee. Step your right leg back. Find your downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. And then we're going to reach the left leg up to the sky. Bend the knee to bring it forward. Step your foot between your hands. Drop your back knee. So your right knee is down. Both arms to the sky. Deep breath in. And then the right hand comes to the floor. Left arm reaches up for a twist. And check in with leaning into that right shoulder. Can you push the floor away a little bit and draw the shoulder down your back? From here, you can start reaching your left fingertips towards the back of the room. Really open up in the chest. Shoulder blades together at the back. And then left arm up and over. Fingertips to the floor. Pick up your back knee. Find that long, long spine here. And then step to fold at the top of your mat. Drop the head. Halfway lift, inhale. And bend the knees, fold. Start to roll up your spine, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky. And exhale, draw the hands to heart center. We're gonna make our way back down to the mat. So inhale, arms up. Let's do another swan dive here. Arms out wide. Melt the belly towards the thighs. Drop the torso over. Find a halfway lift. Step yourself back into a downward facing dog. If you have a blanket on your mat, you can now move it to the side a little bit. And then just grab it whenever you feel like you need it. Then from here, we're going to reach the right leg to the sky and come into a half pigeon. So the right knee comes close to the right wrist and the right ankle comes close to the left wrist. This is a place you might need your block if that hip is very high off the floor. A block or your blanket or anything else that you have can be very supportive underneath your hip. And then let's find another lift of the chest and coming into a forward fold here. See if you can drop your left hip down towards the floor as well. And take deep breaths in. Imagine with each inhale you're softening in the hip area by releasing some tension, and then with the exhale you can blow some of that tension out of there. And then gently come up from there. We're going to swing the left leg around, finding a fire log position. So one shin crosses in front of the other shin. Trying to make the feet about as wide as the knees. So we're not crossing here at the ankles, but the legs are further away from you and wider. So the shins are crossing, not the ankles. And of course, if you have the mobility to put one leg on top of the other, feel free to go there. Hands behind you, lift the chest. And then let's move into a forward fold here. Deep breaths in and controlled long exhales out. And then gently make your way up and out. Lean back into your hands. Maybe shake out your legs a little bit in front of you. The left leg is going to come out to the side. We're moving into another side bend here. Open the arms, and if you can, like we did before, you can clasp the hands. Bring the back of your head into the hands and then lean over. So this left elbow can come down to your leg, or maybe a block if the leg is unachievable. And of course, any other variation of this side bend is welcome as well. But we want to open up in the chest, so the elbow towards the sky as much as possible. Maybe gazing up towards the ceiling as well. And then reach the right hand up to the sky. See if you can let that arm go behind you a little bit more. So there's a slight rotation in the upper spine and a little bit of a deeper chest opener. And then come down, place the right hand behind you, fingertips facing the back of the mat. Swipe your left fingertips up and around, lift the hips, find your flash dance, look behind you for a back bend, deep breath in. Then the left arm circles all the way around, really open into the shoulder as you drop the hips back to the floor. From here, just cross both your legs, move your way into your last downward facing dog. Once you get there, take a couple of deeper breaths. And then the left leg is gonna come up and send it forward for a half pigeon. Knee to your left elbow, ankle to your right. Knee to your left wrist, ankle to your right wrist. That would be the correct anatomy of this. And then lift the chest. And coming into your forward fold if you are folding forwards. Take 3 more deep breaths here. And coming up, walk the hands back. Swing your right leg around to cross the right shin in front of the left shin, or the left ankle on top of the right knee. Okay, lift the chest and moving forwards. Try to keep your breath as an anchor to keep your focus in the practice when your mind starts to drift away and think about other things. So whenever that happens, just take a deeper breath in and really consciously slow down the exhale. Bring yourself back to the breath. And take your last 2 breaths here. And then you can slowly start to make your way up. Sit back, maybe shake out your legs a little bit. Moving into the other side of the side stretch, left leg out, right leg in. Arms back behind your head if that worked for you on the other side. And we're gonna move up and over towards the left. Wait, this is where we were just, isn't it? We're gonna go the other way. We're gonna go the other way. Right leg out. And then we lean over to the right. Good job if you did that right, even though I cued the wrong side. And if you followed my lead, I'm sorry to confuse you. But now we're here. Let's enjoy this side opener. Lifting the elbow towards the sky. And then reach the left arm up. See if you can let it go behind you a little bit to open up the heart a little bit extra. And then coming all the way up, place the left fingertips behind you. Move into your flush stance, push the hips forward, reach the arm back. Take a deep breath here. And let that right arm come full circle around as you drop the hips towards the floor. Now let's just bring both of the legs to the front. Give them a little bit of a shake out. For a last stretch today, you're going to bring the soles of the feet together for butterfly. Lift the chest up. We're not staying here for long. So feel free, once you go down here, you might want to grab your feet, push the elbows into the shins here, or the calves, so that the knee opens a little bit more. And then you can give yourself a gentle pull with your hands. So not forcing yourself into anything, but just encouraging the hips to open a bit more. And then see if you can, instead of just dropping the head and curving over, can you roll the shoulders back and down? Find a bit of a cobra expression in the chest, and then try to get the chest down towards your feet instead of the top of the head. So it's a little bit of a different feeling of the stretch. For me, I find it a little bit deeper, so it's a bit harder to come into the position. And just hold here for about 3 more breaths. And then release. For our Shavasana today, if you have a block or anything really, we're going to do a heart opener in our Shavasana. So the block or whatever you have, it could also be a pillow or a bolster or anything that you can roll up. So even your mat rolled up underneath the shoulder blades. And if you don't have anything, don't worry about it. Just lay flat on your back. It doesn't really matter that much. But this is just for an optional extra heart opener. So wherever you have is going to go quite high up on your upper back, underneath the shoulder blades, so that you can melt on either side of this block. The arms out, the head to the front, and the hips to the back. And from here, the legs can do whatever they want. They can be in butterfly or constructive rest with the knees together and the feet wide. Or if you want to just stretch them long out in front of you, that's also a nice way to do it. So just find your way. And if you don't have anything to put your upper back upon, you just lay flat down into your Shavasana here. And we're just going to take 10 to 15 deep breaths in and out. So do it in your own pace, but deep, conscious, soft and slow inhales and exhales. In and out through the nose. Make these last few breaths extra deep and extra conscious. Feel the inhale on the way in through the nostrils and feel it on the way back out. Feel it coming down the throat into the lungs, expanding the torso. And as you exhale, everything just soften back into place. And you can start gently moving into fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. You might want to stretch your arms overhead, give your body a full length stretch. Deep breath in. And exhale, roll over to your right side or whichever side you want. Curl the knees up onto your chest. Have a moment to just relax here. And push your hands into the floor. Make your way up to a seated position. Cross the legs. Bring the hands to heart center. Draw the shoulders back and down. Long neck. Crown of the head reaches up to the ceiling as the hips grounding down into the floor. And then we bow the head to the fingertips in gratitude to ourselves, the practice, and everyone else for practicing with us. Namaste.